Are we running, Bob? Well, well, well. Still going, still running. Yeah, man. I still here with Ali, where we're having a carnival in a couple of days' time. It's impossible to communicate how weird life has turned out for me. Right, I'm terribly ill physically. I'm also terribly upset about losing everything and then being evicted out of the homeless hostel that was supposed to be helping me out into having no accommodation, which is what they were supposed to be saving me from. Only now I don't have the money that I managed to survive on before. I'm terribly ill. I, and like man knows it's his last few days, or is his limited last days in this world. And how do we spend it? Well, my doctor, who does recognise that I'm in a little bit of pain and a little bit of anxiety about the dying aspect, and of course the dying with its pain being top dominant in my attention. See what I mean? Yeah, like if you're dying all whacked up on proper opiates and pleasure chemicals, it's still going to be an unpleasant experience, but you can make it last as long as possible for the pleasurable aspects caused by the good drugs. Yeah, well, anyway, my doctor is willing to see me again in another 10 days after she gets a result of some blood tests and x-rays. Well, popped into the hospital today, which is not an easy thing to do when you don't have any place to stay and you don't have any place to get your head up, and then when you get to the hospital, there's nowhere safe to leave your dog. So I left the dog tied up outside with some patient in a wheelchair who looked like he wouldn't run away, looking after the dog. But I was kept sitting waiting in a corridor for the x-rays, and after a long time of not being called. But I see that for the other people that are there for x-rays, it's a pleasant change from sleeping in a ward, in a bed in a ward somewhere else in the hospital, for a little bit of a break. They can come back down to the x-ray department. Ali, come here. Yeah. So I'm sitting there in a corridor watching other dying people chatting with the nurses and care workers, as they find out with the latest x-ray how things are going. So it's nothing to them how long they sit in that corridor. Every minute they spend sitting in that corridor is better than sitting in a bed that they might die in. Innit? Right, but I've left a beautiful dog outside that doesn't like to be kept apart from me because I keep her supplied with entertainment non-stop from when I get out of bed until when I go back to sleep, with a few exceptions, as Teak and Sandra know. Yeah, most of the time, no, I'm paying attention to Ali. But in order to check on my health, I've got to leave her tied up in the heat outside the hospital. And then I go inside and just sit still, nothing happens. Well, anyway, on the long way back, when I seemed to be about the last person left waiting, I realised that I'm not willing to lose my dog just for this X-ray, right? So I told one of the nurse type women that come out of the offices occasionally to look at the patients in the queue. I said, look, I'll be back. I'm going to see that my dog is still here. So all the way wearily on sore feet, all the way back to the front of the hospital, where the wheelchair patient that I left looking after my dog is gone, but my dog's now being looked after by a woman with messy, stained clothing, and she says that she's carried on looking after the dog from the previous guy, and she's asking me if it's really my dog. And I think I'll go back in the hospital. Yeah, it's really my dog, but I could walk off with you, you silly bimbo bitch. It's just, you got to grab any opportunity that comes your way when you see someone in a vulnerable situation. Use it to your advantage. So I thought, well, F this for a lark. My dog has been barking for an hour. That's no use to her. It's no use to me. I've been sitting in a corridor feeling like shit for an hour. No use to me, no use to my dog. Right, my dog's coming with me to the X-ray department, same as she did the last time. Only I got her there before anybody noticed, so nobody made a big hassle about getting her back out. That was smart, because this time I'm intercepted by a team of 3 at least, led by the great big geezer, striding ahead, little Hitler, big Hitler. You and dog are going out. And I said, look, slow down, no slowing down. I'm a patient, no patient. I'm a 63-year-old man, no, listen. I'm here for medical assistance. Should I left the dog at home? I haven't got a home. Dog has been barking outside for an hour. This is not pleasant for me, not pleasant for the dog. I'm just wanting to get my X-ray. No, you're not. You're getting out of the hospital. They got heavy. Physically grabbed by 2 men and dragged in a degrading, humiliating experience that I had hoped would not be repeated. But when the geezer starts coming, I'm arresting you for breach of the peace and makes to put handcuffs on. And we've passed 100 people who can clearly hear, without any swear words, what I'm saying about how wrong and unpleasant my situation is to be dragged along the corridor of the hospital in the wrong direction from getting the help that I came there to receive. Anyway, see, this total shite, man, you know what I'm saying? It really is total shite. I mean, that is one of the most fascist little operations I've run into for a while. As we're getting to the very door exit of the hospital, I don't know what he thinks he's looking at. I kept telling him, you're not looking at a young man. I'm dying, this is sore. And I said, why don't you just go away and kick my head in? You want to? And he says, yeah, I would love to. Cunt. Really, man, that sucks. That's the National Health Service helping me. You know, I'll go in there for assistance that they get paid a lot of money to give me, and they, who are getting paid a lot of money, will look at me who hasn't got very much money and has been living on shit food for years. They will examine me to see how bad things have gone wrong inside. Well, they continue to be paid highly. Well, I and my dog go back to live on the pavement. Right, well, all the way through this time I overrode the Scottish programming, the victim whine which goes, ah, yeah, fucker, yous cunts are hurting me, therefore swear words equals mentally unsound equals any human being that can use these words like fucking cunt has a mental condition that means whatever they're talking about doesn't make sense, so there is no point in trying to understand them, which is why successful revolutionaries or uh, political leaders do not swear very often when they're getting emotional. Hitler did not say, let's go and fucking kick the cunt out of England. He didn't say that. But I didn't do that either today. And I find these men and women involved in security at the hospital for health right. Concentration camp guards, fascist bastard bullies. I could have been little less upset if I'd been buggered at the same time as being dragged along and thrown out of the hospital. And a man old enough to be father or grandfather to all of them. Thanks. I could have done better with my day, National Health Service. I've done a great job of keeping this body alive where you haven't. Big up me, National Health Service. Fucking sucked. I've been lying about the cannabis from the beginning. When I went to the doctor in the 1980s, he said I was becoming depressed at my midlife crisis until I got onto cannabis. This is good. Can't you support me on this? No, that's unhinged, tangential thinking. If you're not always wrestling with today's problem and tomorrow's headache, then you are mentally insane. If you go to your doctor and you say, I love today, I have no urgent need to do anything except relieve a little physical pain which is caused by a growth on my foot. Now, this is actually quite unfunny. In the summer of 1990 in Oxford, in a bit of a delusion that the world was ready for the second coming and the redemption back at that time, 1990, I prematurely started walking around town barefoot. After a couple of months, I had a problem with what seemed to be a little black dot in the centre of the sole of my foot. It's now a huge big growth like a gobstopper or a mini golf ball. That's the National Health. When I first went to see the doctor about it in Oxford, they thought I had a mental health condition. And now I can remember doctors along the years in different locations who have simply taken up the place of the previous guy that looked at me and thought, yeah, he's got what the previous guy said. I don't like this way of keeping records on people, either criminal records or health records. Fuck it, if I run into a voodoo witch doctor that cures me of something that National Health Service doctors don't cure, then that means to the National Health Service I have a psychiatric condition, and their psychiatrist has confirmed it. It's something like £300 an hour. What a tosser. Ali, come here. Right, it doesn't mean anything, but I'm just saying this is such a terrible way to waste my time. I've learned so much that I want to share with the people of Bristol. Here's Brunswick Square, or sometimes called St Paul's Park, but there's another St Paul's Park behind me on the other side of the church, which isn't a church, it's a College of Circus Arts. Yeah. This will all be carnivalised tomorrow night onwards. Yeah, just that's it, man. I'm doodling. I'm going to die anytime round about now. It's horrible. What's annoying is that one or two people can represent all of society and treat a human being in a way that makes them think that the whole of human civilization has rejected him. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. Oh, was it? It wasn't the camera. Yeah, Rolf Harris. I'm on Rolf's side. No, my horse can go just as fast for two, mate. Jump up here, Rolf. Don't be queer, Rolf. I don't believe you're guilty of any worse than 99% of English or Australian men or women when it comes to sexual perversion. Rolf Harris, you are as innocent as anyone else. It's disgusting what they are trying to do to you, and I think if I was in your position, Rolf, and hadn't yet lost the resources, get a high quality video camera, get into a webcam room or something like that and get other spectators on and very, very noisily suicide before sentencing day, naming and shaming as many as you can, Rolf. Get it so that when the video is watched, they will have to cry. And if you post it on Facebook or whatever, I'll make a copy, I'll download it so that even if your enemies try to delete it, I'll share it for you. Yeah, fuck that Babylon system that keeps the masses distracted from all the real shit that's going on by terrorizing an old comic pop singer. Tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. It's time to turn round and shoot the cunts that have set you up, Rolf. That bitch that wasn't named, the one that for legal reasons couldn't be named. Not everybody would accept that she can't be traced. Daughter's best friend at school. Yeah. Rolf, I think that would be nice if you could hear that she'd gone before you. But anyway, this corruption, let's just clean it out of the way, mate, eh? Everybody push together, stop telling lies. Rolf Harris is just another human being. If you let them do it to a geezer like that, you'll end up your life getting a kicking by a bunch of rednecks. It won't even give you a trial. Me, I'd rather play with my dog. You can keep your hospital, you can keep all your x-rays. Fuck it, I know what's wrong. It's your system that's made me sick. Fuck it. Well, I'd rather play with my dog and have your hospital treatment. You can nuke that same time as you get rid of the job centre. Yeah. I think drug dealers should carry guns, and people that grow marijuana should get, what you call them, machine guns. Make sure that they can outshoot a couple of pistols. Yeah, let's win this fucking war. Yeah, cannabis coming at you. Fuck your law. We're going to destroy your law. Like ganj. Because it is the truth. Guns without bullets coming your way now. I say, Cameron, old boy. Your granddaddy shafted my granddaddy big hard. Now it's coming off your asshole, Davy boy.